Today we're going to be taking a look at this insulated toolkit from Jonard Tools. It's their 11-piece insulated kit. There's one tool in particular that I want to show you guys that I love this style of tool, and the screwdrivers as well. I'm really looking forward to getting in there, so stick around to the end so you can see just what this tool is and how it functions. And let me know in the comments if you've ever used anything from Jonard or what your favorite brand of insulated tool is. Let's go ahead and open this baby up. It's got a hard outer portion to it on the 3 sides, and then it's got the zipper right here. So we'll go ahead and open this up. All right, so there is no space wasted in this thing. I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't think I was gonna like this portion of it. I was like, man, I'm for sure gonna have these out. After seeing it, it really optimizes the storage well. I like that the way they have it set up. It's a possibility. This set right here isn't a set that I would use every day. It's a set that I would use for specifically hot work or whenever I need insulated tools, whenever I'm doing something live. It's something that I would end up keeping this portion in my vehicle. And then when I know I'm going in, when I have to sign off and do hot work, do all that permitting stuff, I put this in one of my open tote bags, and then from there bring it in. Now, couple of things that I really like about this. We'll start with the screwdrivers. They are pretty ergonomic, which is something that if you know me, you know I'm into that. There is this little ring right here for hanging or for doing whatever, but it's got a pretty nice feel to it. It's thin right here. It's got a little bit thicker so your hand doesn't slip off. And then obviously it's got somewhat of a ball shape to it, so your hand has something to grip onto. This right here is a smaller flathead, which ends up getting used for smaller terminals a lot for breakers. So I like that they included that. Then there is a number 1 Phillips. Then we have a normal regular size flathead, which I like. And then along with that, we have a number 2 Phillips. So with these being the most 2 commonly used screwdrivers, I'll just go over some of the features. The red here is a rubber and the yellow here is a harder plastic. I like the ergonomics on this. It's got these grips here to add a little bit of texture so you have something to grip onto. And then it's also got these pads right here, one on each side for your thumb or your finger. It fits my pointer finger here and my thumb here, and it has a really nice feel to it. They look super well machined. They seem, obviously I'm gonna have to check the fit and the durability on them, but they seem like really high quality screwdrivers. I wouldn't expect anything less. And then it's got the markings for 1,000 volts, so you know that it is rated for 1,000 volts. I have to say these are, it's a pretty nice screwdriver. So we've got both sizes of flatheads and Phillips so far. And then from there, there's a couple things that I really like. So there's a number 3 Phillips, which I don't go crazy over. You use them every now and then, not super often, but these next 2 styles of drivers I really like, and it gives you a little bit larger of a flathead with a longer shaft, which I like for terminals. It lets you have more room, more space that you're making contact with the screw, and that way, you don't have to worry about stripping as much. And then this baby right here, this behemoth of a screwdriver, it's a big flathead. Most sets don't come with a flathead this big, and I always want them to, because what this does is it lets you take off panel covers. Now, do you need an insulated screwdriver for panel covers? No. Do I like to have one? Yes. You never know what's waiting for you on the other side of a panel. Those screws, I've seen it happen before where when there's wires loose, you get one of those wires nicked into a panel cover and it just boom, shorts out right there, right then. So I really do prefer to have a larger screwdriver to take off the flathead panel covers. You have your Phillips and your smaller flatheads as well, but traditionally I always end up seeing, those flathead screws for panels that are only flathead, and I want a bigger screwdriver for it that's insulated that matches my set because I'm bougie like that. But yeah, this is the one. I'm so glad. I'm thankful that they included this in this set. So we'll go ahead and stick these babies back in here because it looks so nice all organized like this. I did not think I was going to be a fan of this style of organization. However, so far you can count me in. All right, so the pliers. First thoughts, they look super well machined. I like the finish on the metal here, and they look super high quality. Like I said, there's a set of pliers in here that I'm a huge fan of. And then at the end, we'll also test them out a little bit. I'll show you some cutting with them. I'll give you guys my opinion on them. But we'll go ahead and start with these diagonal cutters here. The finish on these, it looks phenomenal. Like, it really does look great. I really like this. There is more of a matte finish on the outside and on the jaws and on the inside. One thing to note about these type of pliers, these diagonal cutters, they have a pointier head on them, and I have a pair similar from Knipex. They aren't technically considered high leverage diagonal cutters. They do cut well. The cutting jaw, I haven't, like I said, we'll cut with these in a second, but my first impressions, they come loose, much looser than the Kleins. I can open and close them with one hand. You know, they don't get stuck when you swing them open. That's a good sign. I like that. I don't like my pliers to come stiff and me have to work them in. Another thing that I really like about these handles is the larger walls on the outside so your hand doesn't slip. A lot of the insulated pliers that I have don't have a very large wall, and I like that these do, because it's an extra layer of safety, and that's what you're really going for with a set like this. The yellow is a softer rubber, and the red here is actually, it's not an incredibly hard plastic. It's got some texture to it, and it is soft. I like that a lot. I like this much better than I like the red. Traditionally on specific pliers, because of the softness and the way that it feels, really gives you a little bit more texture to kind of work with, something to grab onto. And then the pointier jaw here, it's almost more like a flush cut, if you can see that, which I like that style, especially for precision work, which is what you're going to be doing with a set like this. So next we'll go to these combination pliers here. So these are a little bit stiffer. They still have, you know, they're a lot looser than the Kleins, but the head here, it's got the serrated jaws for gripping up front. The head's not as thick as a set of linemen's, but I do like to be able to maneuver with these. I actually, holding these now, this is a pretty solid set. It's got, so it starts off with the serrated jaws up top, then it goes to your open serration for grabbing things like nuts and bolts, and then it goes into your cutting jaw. So these are like kind of like an all-around plier, similar to how you would use a lineman. The finish on these is great. If you can see these details on here, it's really machined well. It's almost got a rounded portion here that looks phenomenal, and it's got a matte coat on the outside, and then it's got this traditional finish on the outside. So I like that quite a bit. Again, it's got these outer walls that are much larger, so your hands do not slip, which I really prefer. I like that. Then going into the needle nose here, needle nose are one thing that I don't use ever until it comes to hot work, but I love using my needle nose for hot work. I think it's just easier for me to have a small set of pliers in there than it is for me to have my hands, especially when something's on. Makes me feel a lot more comfortable. This handle here has more of a curve to it, so it does fit in your hand well. So it doesn't just come down and keep going. It actually curves back in, which I like. I think that gives you a lot better handling. They get a little bit stiff towards the outside, but why in the world would you have your needle nose open that wide anyway? They're super loose down here where you're gonna be using them, but they're serrated all the way up until very close to the cutting jaw. I like this finish. They're completely rounded up top with the matte finish, which is cool. And then they have a flat jaw at the end. They stop right where they stop. Obviously you can see where they stop at, and they're flat from there. I like that a lot. I like this set of needle nose a lot. This is probably one of my favorite set of needle nose that I've ever had. I really like these, and this handle it's comfortable, but I like the way that they have this set up. It's probably, I would say, a 6-inch pair of needle nose, but yeah, these are pretty sick. On to the set of pliers that I've been super excited to show you guys and tell you guys about. It is these wire strippers here. They are very unique, and these do have a spring in them, so that's fantastic. But they're this set right here. You don't see these very often, especially in America, but basically you can set this screw so these jaws don't nick the wire, but that they close around it, and then from there you can twist and pull the wire off. I like this for precision work a lot. If you are doing something repetitively, it's nice too, but I will show you guys just how I use these. But yeah, this basically, you set that screw so that it doesn't nick the copper, and then from there you can twist. I like these in residential. I don't know why old electricians used to do this, but they used to see how short wires could be. It's a pain in the butt. It always has been, but when you have short wires, you can you know, strip them while they're in the box still. That way you can either wire nut them and add some length onto them or do whatever you need to do. But right now, I'll show you guys what exactly that looks like. So we'll go ahead and we'll cut this. I'll use my needle nose. I mean, they cut just like any set of needle nose should. From here, we'll grab this, just twist and pull. Basically, it goes in there and it just clamps around and you twist it. It's got those jaws on it. And from there, you can just pull it off, boom, like that, which, you know, usually you have one set of wires that you're landing if you're landing a lot of them. So that's why I like this set. They work well. So for cutting, these cut well. The traditional combination pliers, they cut well. I wouldn't expect anything less. And for the diagonal cutters, I like these a lot. They have a snap to them, which I prefer with my diagonal cutters. The head on these also makes it extremely easy to cut MC cable. That is a big thing that I really like. Because of the thinness of the head, you're really able to get in between the little slots in there and snip that. So that is cool. But overall, I have to say, it's a pretty solid set. I like this a lot. It is their 11-piece set. If you want to know more about insulated tools, go ahead and head up into the corner. Watch that video that I did to see if you really need insulated tools or not, and go ahead and get a look at some more insulated tools. Thank you guys. Remember, it's all for His glory, and I will see you guys on the next one.